Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Delaware community. So great to get together today through Zoom, and so grateful for this beautiful brand new baby day. My name is Mary Kegelman, and I'm one of the practitioners here at the center. And we usually would meet at the Center for Creative Arts in Yorkland, Hokesson, Delaware area. And so right now, just get yourself right where you are, centered comfortably in this moment, in your space, and take a few deep breaths. Let's take 3. The first one, to release all that has come before this moment in time. Another breath to connect with the here and the now. And with each breath, just imagine your heart opening to the light of the universe. I invite you to come into the recognition of spirit within, the certainty of our oneness with the whole, the immediate availability of the power and wisdom resulting from this oneness. Breathing deeply. Such communion with our higher being, our higher self, which we call God, brings harmony into our lives and our affairs. Such communion with the oneness within, the essence of who I am, the essence of all life, spirit within, establishes the natural divinity, the natural divinely ordained law of health and prosperity, and makes for us a light. And this light of God within shines for all the world to see and be healed. So let us just take this in and think about this, or just focus on our breath and let these words be planted into our minds and our hearts with each breath. I answer the call to love myself fully. So maybe I fail at times to recognize my need to replace judgment with forgiveness when it comes to myself. But remember, maybe you have not yet realized how much you still consider unlovable about yourself, but that can be changed with a thought. You are love. Because God is love, you are love. You are loved. You are lovable. You are loving. And just settle in to realizing and recognizing your true self right here and right now. And we will go into the silence now, just breathing in love and exhaling peace into the world. Breathing in love and exhaling peace. Breathing into this wonderful, precious moment, I smile. I rejoice in the love I have to share. For I know that deep at the center of my being, there is an infinite supply of love. It is inexhaustible. I can never use it all in this lifetime. So I do not have to be sparing with the love that is within me. I can always be generous with my love. Love is contagious. When I share love, it comes back to me multiplied. The more love I give, the more love I have. I have come into this world to be a love giver. I came in full of love. And even though I will share my love all of my life, when I leave this earth, I will have a full and a happy heart. If I want more love, then I have only to give. For love is, and I am. And I affirm that the radiant love that I am, and the radiant love that each one hearing this is, that all of us together sharing our love can see Earth as being healed and whole, with everyone fed and clothed and housed and happy. There is so much good we each can do for this planet on an individual level. And at times, I may work for causes, putting my physical energy or finances into them. At other times, I may use the power of my thoughts to help heal the planet. If I hear news of a world disaster or acts of senseless violence, I can immediately surround the entire situation with love and affirm that out of this experience, only good will come. I send positive energy and do visualizations, seeing where healing needs to take place, and that a solution is showing up for the highest good of all. And I bless the perpetrators with love, and I bless those who are sacrificing their lives for us to live in a better world. And I affirm that the part of them where love and compassion dwells come to the surface, and that they too are healed. And I affirm the highest good for everyone on this planet. For it is only when we are all healed and whole that we will have a healthy world to live in. And I am claiming that we are all here to create heaven on earth. Thank you all for joining me in this meditation. And I bow to the infinite wisdom and light and love within all of you. Namaste. And now I pass this on to our dear Deb Chamberlain. Thank you for being with us today, Deb, and sharing your talent, your beautiful music, your beautiful voice with us to lift us up.
Thank you, Mary. That was beautiful at the end, what you spoke. Thank you. So good morning, everyone. I'm Deb Chamberlain. This is the Center for Spiritual Living, Delaware. And we're so glad that you're with us today, or maybe you're watching the replay. It's a beautiful day, and there's a lot of love going around in the world right now. So we're going to do some more meditation while I play some songs for you before we start the service. This first song is called Illuminate, which I wrote earlier this year. Still your mind, dry your tears. I heard the angels whisper in my ear. Open your eyes. You don't have to be afraid. You are here to walk in faith. So I pray, pour your light through me. This mystic soul needs your light to see. As I bathe in your mystery, I feel my spirit rise. Your light moves my feet, pulls me toward my highest destiny. You make it simple to believe the glory in my eyes. Darkness looms for those who fear the truth, but my eyes only see the way to you. That way is love, and I have seen her face. I am here to walk in grace. So pour your light through me. This mystic soul needs your light to see. As I bathe in your mystery, I feel my spirits rise. Your light moves my feet toward my highest destiny. You make it simple to believe the glory in my eyes. Illuminate. Thank you. I love all your waves. Thank you. So this is a song called One Who Remembers. It's on my CD, which you can actually get. If anyone's interested, you can message me. This song is about being the voice, remembering to be mindful of who we really are. I had a dream, I was wading in the water. Suddenly peace washed over me, and I was one with every precious son and daughter, and it was freely up to me to live forever as one who remembers to be the voice, the heart, the mind of the divine. When I am walking with my back to the sun, casting shadows on the ground, though I may falter, there is no harm done if I simply turn around. I can be forever someone who remembers to be the voice, the heart, the mind of the divine. Am I servant or master? Are they one of the same? From here to hereafter, everyone will gain when we live together as one who remembers to be the voice, the heart, the mind, the voice, the heart, the mind, who live together here as one with the divine. Y'all took some extra juice today in your coffee. I can see the exuberance. Let's see. Okay, we have time for one more. We're really in the middle of so much change on this planet right now for the highest good of all, for ourselves, each other, and the world itself. So this song I wrote last September about being that creative change in the world, creating the new earth. As we give birth to our new earth, first we see her with our mind. She is bountiful, she is wondrous, all forgiving and kind. And as we listen to her silence, we know exactly how to give. So the best and the highest of everyone shall live to see the day we all can thrive, live to feel what it means to be fully alive, live to hear the sounds of peace in a world that was born to be free, a world that was born from you. From the ashes she will rise. As we breathe with her, we receive with her all the blessings of the skies. And with our loving hands and grateful hearts, we replenish every need. And with equal care and tenderness, we nurture every seed, so it can live to see the day we all can thrive. Live to feel what it means to be fully alive. Live to hear the sounds of peace in a world that was born to be free. A world born from you and me. We hold the power in our hearts to make heaven on earth, right here where we are. So let us live to see the day we all can thrive. Live to feel what it means to be fully alive. Live to hear the sounds of peace in a world that was born to be free. A world born from you and me. Oh, let's make heaven on earth our greatest legacy. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Delaware. We're so glad you're here with us today. And we really have a beautiful service ready for you, so then we can go and enjoy this gorgeous day outside. So I'd like to introduce you to Candace, who's going to do our invocation this morning.
Actually, I'm going to do our evocation this morning. My name is Mary Kegelman, and I am one of the practitioners here today. And so grateful that all of you are here to join us. So let us all just take a deep breath into this precious moment right here and right now. And settling into a quiet state, into the silence, into the peacefulness of this moment, claiming there is only one life, one power in all of the universe. And we call this one divine love intelligence, God. And God is all there is. And each of us is in this oneness of God, the creator of all. And in this oneness, our life is perfect, whole, and complete. For God is perfection. God is whole. God is complete. And since God is all, and all is God, as I believe, my word goes forth into the creative power, which at once takes my words into the creative medium of source, and it begins to operate upon it. I know that to this one power, this one source, all things are possible. The universal power of God knows only its own power of good. And we all, living on this planet, we all walk on this same earth. We all breathe the same air, no matter where we were born, no matter what color skin or what religion we have been practicing or we have been raised to believe in. Everything and everyone is connected to this one life, which we call God. I no longer choose to prejudge others, to feel either superior or inferior. I choose equality, to have warm, loving, open communication with every member of my earthly family. I am a member of the earth community. We are all members of this one earthly community. Differences of opinion are wonderful. Colorful varieties of expression. And today I open my heart a little bit more, as I know I co-create the world with God that I want to live in. And I am knowing that love is stronger than differences. And as we are all one, I am so grateful for this consciousness of oneness, this we consciousness, this higher power emanating through all of creation is taking form today, right here and right now, through this beautiful service of celebration. And I am so grateful for each of you joining with me to co-create this higher vibration. And I want to give a special thanks to all of those who are taking care of the technology that brings us together. And for all of those who have stepped up in sacred service today, for doing the technology, for sharing your talents, Deb, for with the music, for Candace leading our service, and for Reverend Bill giving us the message today, and for all those behind the scenes who are making this all a beautiful coming together of community. And thank you all for being with us. And I just release this into the divine law, knowing that it is so, and so it is. And I would like to pass this on now to beloved Candace.
Beautiful, Mary. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that introduction, for that evocation, for attuning us to the power of this moment in time that we are all sharing. And thank you, Deb, for your magnificent music, again, which sets that fabulous vibration for all of us. I want to welcome everyone, members, friends, and guests of the Center for Spiritual Living Delaware here today. My name is Candace Berkowitz, and I am a practitioner here at the center. Reverend Kathleen is on vacation at the beach with her family, enjoying some well-deserved downtime, even though she is here with us celebrating this service as well. So there she is saying hello. Thank you. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you for demonstrating the balance that we all need to practice for ourselves in our own lives as well. So I'm thinking about this theme for this year. We have so much information and so much going on. The theme for our year is spiritual vision, and I think at the beginning in January, we would have had no idea the spiritual vision that is being called forth for each and every one of us across this planet, not just our community, but across this planet. And this month, we're thinking about mindfulness for mavericks. And mavericks are those who do not follow, but strike out as independent thinkers. And we claim thinkers of truth. And that's what we come together here at the Center for Spiritual Living to share, to know, to awaken within ourselves, and to demonstrate across this planet. So this is such a difficult time, but it is a beautiful time, an opportunity for us truly to live our beliefs, to walk our talk. And the theme for today's talk is actually mindful action. And so how perfect is that? Because thoughts without works have no value at all. They are just thoughts, and they can be released and moved and never come into being unless we put our feeling and our attention to them. So thinking about that, it was 50 years ago that the mindful action of the gay pride movement began, catalyzed the year before by the Stonewall uprising in New York City in Greenwich Village, where the gay community had been horrendously oppressed and attacked societally and demonstrated through the police in that city and across this planet. We know that's been going on for many years prior to this, but this was that moment in time in which that community was called forth to stand up for truth, that there is no separation. We are all spirit beings living this life together, as Mary so powerfully expressed in her evocation today. So just acknowledging that and giving thanks for the courage that those people demonstrated at that time. And we're standing on those shoulders now. We're standing on those shoulders to demonstrate more equality, more acceptance, more loving kindness for all life across this planet. So I'm excited, and I'm excited that we here at the Centers for Spiritual Living Delaware have that opportunity to buoy each other, to share with each other this information, our own personal experiences, and take it into the world again, which is the mindful action that's being called for now. So grateful also that we have Reverend Bill Marchiony from New Thought, Philadelphia, to share the message today with us, knowing that he is a powerful voice, another catalyst for change, and a true believer in the unity of all of life. So we have a wonderful service today, and I'm going to invite us all now to welcome our service together as we open our arms, and just thinking that we are now breathing in together. Let's do that. Drawing in that love, light, perfection energy into our hearts as together we say, I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and healing. I open my mind to the universe, accepting wisdom and understanding. And take a deep breath in as we share that reality as receivers of the great good that's here for us. Draw the hands together into prayer mudra over the head, and then exhale, drawing it down into the heart center. Beautiful. So grateful for this beautiful service. Thank you for sharing it with us today. And now I'd like to welcome and introduce Tom Clark, who is the president of our Board of Trustees, for announcements. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Candace. Good morning, everyone. With love, light, and enthusiasm, I'd like to bid you a good morning here today. And as soon as we have the intention statement come up on here, will you join me in reading the 2020 intention statement? We, the Center for Spiritual Living Delaware, are a welcoming, vibrant, inclusive spiritual community rooted in New Thought, ancient wisdom principles. We are here to be the presence of love, to co-create heaven on earth, a world that works for all. Join Marianne Ruan for group prayer each Monday by Zoom from 12 to 12:15 p.m. Join Marianne Ruan for 150 days of earnest homes, drawing from meditations, contained in part 6 of The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. Marianne facilitates live meditations on Facebook and Zoom, Monday through Friday, 7:15 a.m. The sessions are recorded on Facebook. Licensed practitioner Candace Berkowitz is offering transformational breath workshops every Monday. That begins tomorrow night, June 29th, 7 to 9 p.m. $20 per session or $90 for 6 sessions. On July 1st and August 5th, Reverend Bill Marchiony will facilitate a teen group on Zoom from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. for teens. CSL Delaware teen advisor and adults interested in becoming teen advisors. The group is open to teens regardless of their spiritual background. Participation is free. However, pre-registration is required. Save the date, October 4th, 12 to 2:30 p.m. for creating a peaceful community through the arts. It is a free Peace Week Delaware event sponsored by CSL Delaware, CC Arts, and the Baha'i Faith community. Outdoors at CC Arts to support social distancing activities, Labyrinth, Peace Garden dedication, yoga breathing, chanting, arts and crafts, art walks and Labyrinth walks. We have Gonzo Kitchen Food Truck will offer food for purchase with organic and gluten-free options. Would you like to help the Labyrinth Peace Garden? Contact Reverend Kathleen. Please refer to our website under the Get Involved tab in our newsletter for details on these and other events or activities. And the next song is Carpenters Dream, because our lovely Deb is going to be singing If I Had a Hammer. So any of you that don't have a hammer, that would like to have a hammer, put it in the chat box and I'll bring one out for you after the service. But until now, let's bring Deb in and we'll sing the song. Love you.
Oh, Tom, you're the best. Oh, gosh. So we're going to go back in time and do this awesome song by Pete Seeger and Lee Hayes. I hope you'll sing along. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out a warning, I'd hammer out the love Thank you for the hammers, Tom. Thank you so much. I think we're bringing up Linda next to do our reading for the morning. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Deb. Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to be here with you today on this beautiful Sunday. And what an inspiring song and messages we've received so far. This year, we join all centers of spiritual living, spiritual communities across the planet, intending to see life with perfect 2020 spiritual vision. Our monthly theme, as others have mentioned, is mindfulness for mavericks. And our topic for today is mindful action. Ernest Holmes wrote in Journey into Life, page 20, "Work without vision is drudgery, but vision without work is self-deception. The well-balanced person can walk with his head in the clouds and still keep his feet solidly planted on the ground. Faith and work are ineffective when separated." Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith once said, "When you truly have an insight or spiritual awakening, the next step is always action." Let's speak our June affirmation with enthusiasm. I breathe mindfully that I may intend, speak, and act as a spiritual maverick, doing what is mine to do and manifesting a world that works for all. And now I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Bill.
Thank you. And I don't actually need to wear a mask at this particular time. Apparently don't need to wear my glasses either. And the reason that I was wearing a mask is to make a point, because the times call for us to wear a mask. So we do. But interestingly, when I wear a mask, I've been at home since the middle of March, and been very careful whenever I'm out. So the chances of me spreading COVID-19 to somebody else are actually relatively small. It's not impossible, it's relatively small. So the reason that we wear a mask is so we don't infect other people. But even more importantly, the reason that we wear a mask is to signal and cue and prompt and remind other people that we are paying attention to their well-being and their good health, because we don't know who around us might be immune compromised or susceptible. So we do what's possible, what's ours to do. And in a lot of ways, that's being a spiritual maverick. It's not a political statement. It is actually a statement of caring, a statement of awareness, a statement of openness. And there are currently 5 crises going on in our country, all simultaneously, all kind of interwoven between the COVID pandemic, which is going on, which as of this particular time, our country is proving that we're not doing a world-class job of dealing with. Having tried to reopen in some places a little too early, we're having problems. There are economic challenges which are going to be around for a while as a result of this. We have had the Black Lives Matter and the killings of George Floyd and other people have brought to a head the racial inequalities that have been going on in our country for quite a long time. And it's easy to look at the circumstances and the situations and become hopeless. It's also easy to spend a lot of time talking about the issues and the problems and the difficulties and the challenges and so forth. And I am just delighted that I get to talk about mindful action and being mindfulness for mavericks. Because there's a lot of history of that in our country. There's a lot of history in being a spiritual and a mindfulness maverick. There's a lot of power in the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And I mean, that's the New Testament version. In the beginning, there was darkness and void. There was nothing, and God said, "Let there be." And there was. So it all starts with the Word. And that same creative process that started everything is still active. It still works. It still works for us. And that's what we get to accept as we are speaking our words, setting our intention, and planting a seed into that infinite, rich, creative soil that creates everything. Next weekend is Independence Day. The 4th of July is Saturday in Philadelphia in 1776, or since I'm from New Thought, Philadelphia, we say 7th and Market Street. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, including really maverick words, incredible oratory to say, we hold these truths to be self-evident. That claims that what I'm about to say is so obvious that nobody could possibly disagree with it. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. And of course, when he wrote that in his house at 7th and Market, he had a slave who he owned, who was giving him water and helping to make sure that he was taken care of. So he said it, he wrote it, we signed it, and we used that as a foundational document for creating this country. And he wanted to believe it. It was aspirational, but he still had 100 slaves. And the economy was built on the success of people who had 100 slaves. And he wanted to undo that, but because of the situation, because of the timing, he couldn't do that. So he set the intention for that. And the reason that he couldn't change that so quickly was because that had been around for 150 years already. 1619 was the year that the first black slaves were purchased in Jamestown. So that's a lot of lead up. And in fact, that process led to a lot of the economic growth and success in this country. And that's who we are. And that's who we were in 1776. And it became more and more uncomfortable to be in that situation. And we had a civil war about it. Again, the people who were doing that saying, I'm looking at the situation, I'm seeing what it is now, and I have an idea for something better, for something different. And there was a very gruesome and bloody war. The action that was taken as a result of those intentions to make a change. And everything happens in consciousness. Everything happens in consciousness. The physical world, Newtonian physics, tells us that there's a world of cause and effect. You push on something, that's the cause, and it moves, and that's the effect. But in fact, in consciousness and in quantum physics, the cause is always the initial intention, the idea, the thought, the creative inspiration. So in that same circumstance, the cause is someone deciding that that thing is going to move. The first effect is to push it, and a secondary effect is for it to move. We are learning so much about the workings of the universe beyond the Newtonian physics. We look at quantum physics, and it's really difficult to grapple with it because in the quantum world, everything is a matter of possibilities until some intentional act happens. And then one of those possibilities becomes historical. I'm not going to go into the details on the double slit experiment, but basically the way we observe something actually changes its behavior in the world. And if it happens at a repeatable laboratory level, we can be certain that it's happening all the time. That's why we call the teaching that we're in Science of Mind. The very first page of the Science Mind textbook is Ernest Holmes said that one day science and religion will walk hand in hand. That's also aspirational. It hasn't quite happened yet. There are some ways that the pieces are coming together. But what we get to do is start where we are. And we are some 140 years, 150 years after the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th Amendment. And we're now dealing with some of the issues that came up as a result of having been a slave nation for as long as we were. So there's been a lot of activism, a lot of discussion, a lot of investigation, a lot of groups that have been going on. I know that CSL Delaware and a couple of the other CSLs got together for visioning this week, and New Thought Philadelphia did the same thing. And our group was born out of visioning. And so when we did the visioning, I wanted to make sure that we're asking tough questions. So I got in touch with a friend of mine who had been a defense attorney for an entire career in Philadelphia, and also happens to be Black. And I said, I don't want this to be a softball question because we'll get a kumbaya answer. Oh yes, we'll just let the light shine through and everybody be happy. That's wonderful. That's a great place to be. But I wanted to make sure that we were approaching it from the edge. And he told me that we should vision on moving beyond white supremacy. And that's kind of harsh for me to understand because I'm white. And it's easy to feel defensive about that. But the fact of the matter is, if we look at the way that our laws are set up, the way that our police departments work, the way that our economy has been configured, it's got white people, people who look just like me up at the top of it. So on the one hand, does that make me guilty of something? Does that make me bad or wrong because I'm in that position? No, it just makes me in that position. And the opportunity that I have is to go from being unaware that I'm involved in a white supremacy belief system. And it's not mine. It's not one that I said, hey, this is what I believe. It is so cultural, it is so ingrained that when we teach our Science of Mind classes, we call it race consciousness. Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the Four Agreements, calls it the belief of the planet. That's something that's so ingrained in everybody's belief system, everybody's history, everybody's experience, that we make the assumption that it's true. We let all of the rest of our decisions be based on that. And sometimes that works for us okay, and sometimes it doesn't. But the first thing we need to do is we need to understand where we're starting. At the end of this talk, I had the mask on, and that is a way of showing my concern and my caring for the other people who I'm around. That is a cue that I'm probably going to be observing social distancing. I'm probably going to be more mindful than somebody who's not wearing a mask of somebody else's space and somebody else's health and safety. Down in the corner of the screen, it's got my name, and it's also got my pronouns. Now, I'm a middle-aged heterosexual white man. I don't need to share my pronouns. People can make the assumption of who I am, and that would be fine. And by putting my pronouns out, I'm making it obvious that I care about that sort of thing. Today is Pride Day. Today is the 50th anniversary of the first Pride Parade, 1970. It happened starting in Greenwich Village. And there has been so much progress since then, and there's so much distance still to cover. What we can do, what I can do, and what I've committed to doing from my position of privilege at the top of the levers of power of being a middle-aged white man in America, is to pay attention and to share my voice and share my ability, and most importantly, to share my consciousness. By setting a conscious intention to invite the changes, to invite the equality, to invite the balance that we're looking for, that's the cause. And the other things get to change. Now, I don't know about you, but I have been absolutely astounded at how quickly things have been changing. Really? NASCAR got rid of the Confederate flag? Really? That's been important for a long time. And suddenly that's happened. And now Mississippi is going to get rid of the Confederate flag. And we're changing around the monuments. We're changing around the names of military bases. We're changing things because we don't want to be those guys who say we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal while owning a slave, or 2 or 10 or 15. There are power differentials. There are people who are in a position of power, and a position of ability, and a position of influence. And those are the people who are going to be able to make the change. The people who can set a new conscious intention and then use the dynamics and the resources that are available to put some action on those. So when we're looking at a situation and pick your favorite crisis that's going on. There's 5 of them currently. I live in an area where there's an invasion of spotted lanternflies. That's going to turn into a thing in the next month or so. Down south of us, there's the 17-year cicadas that are coming back. I mean, a plague of locusts, really? Is that we need that now as well? But the thing that we get to do from all of those is to make a conscious decision. What is the experience that I want to have instead? When we did our visioning, it wasn't on, it wasn't anti-racism. It wasn't anti, ending white supremacy. It was moving beyond it. When we set an intention, when we plant a seed into that infinite, rich, creative soil, it needs to be powerful, positive, personal, and present tense. We're not going to someday move beyond white supremacy. We have to do that starting right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to move beyond it. To what? I don't know yet. But I know that this is a point of departure. So we're moving away now. We're moving into something new now. And we get to define what that new is going to be. And I say we, that's each of us individually together. So we say, oh, what can I do? Well, the first thing we can do is open ourselves up to know something new. All of these assumptions that we had about that slavery ended, with the 13th Amendment. If you go back and read the 13th Amendment, it actually says we're abolishing slavery except for prisoners, except for a form of punishment. And oh, by the way, we have more people incarcerated than anybody else in the world. Do you think that had something to do with the words that were written in the 13th Amendment that were supposed to fix the problem that started in 1619? I don't want to end that, but I do want to do better. And I'm not sure exactly how better is going to happen, but that's none of my business. One of my teachers said that he knew God's first name. It's Howard. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So that's the joke part of it. But it's more subtle than that. God is the how word. I don't know how this is going to happen. God knows how this is going to happen, but God knows how this is going to happen. I set the intention, I make the invitation. I can plant that seed in the same creative soil that has grown everything and know that God is going to be able to figure out how to bring that about and let that new experience that I'm intending to come together. Love is at hand right here and right now and always. It's not something that's off in the distance. It's not something that belongs to somebody else. It's not something that we have to aspire to, something we have to own and accept and embody. Love is at hand right here and right now. The power to change the world is at hand right here and right now. I don't know how. And when you don't know how, turn it over to Spirit. Let the cause be your intention to understand, your intention to be guided to what's next to do, the intention to have a different experience. And then get quiet and let Spirit tell you what's yours to do. And then do it. Cause, effect, 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 effect. Stay on the train. This is a challenging time. It's also a powerful time. There is so much that's available to happen for us. And it's starting right now. And it starts in consciousness. And we are so well positioned to invite this next new experience. So as you go about doing this, do it with joy, do it with love, do it with enthusiasm. Allow that goodness to come into being. Because you deserve it. You are wonderful. You are a blessing. And so it is. And I thank you so much. And Deb has another.
Thank you, Bill. Wow. Beautiful. The song is called In and Up, Then Out. There are miracles in the garden as we plant the seeds of our lives. We tend to the soil and prune what is spoiled and feed them water and light. Yet with so many things to desire, how can we know what is best? By turning within to a higher vision, we trust all will be blessed. As above, so below, as we reap what we sow, as within, so without, we surrender with never a doubt. Go then out. There is never a need to hurry, for love grows in perfect time. We nurture the roots, give thanks for the fruits. Life blossoms with reason and rhyme. As above, so below, as we reap what we sow, as within, so without, we surrender with never a doubt. Going in and up, then out. Guard the garden of your heart, the soil of your soul, and watch as above, so below, as we reap what we sow, as within, so without, we surrender with never a doubt. Going in and up, going in and up, going in and up, then out. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think now we have Michelle with some tips.
Hi, everyone. Just a second. Okay. Hi, everyone from down at the beach. So the tip for today is related to social equality. And there's actually a ton of wonderful videos and future trainings that are through CSL, our larger CSL community and headquarters. And so I put all the information there because a lot of people are wondering, where should I start? And that can be a really wonderful place to start to educate yourself on any of the issues related to racial inequality and, as a white person, what you can say, share, how's the best way you can help, all the things that, a lot of the things that Reverend Kathleen has been talking about over the past few weeks and months is available in there. So it's a Facebook group that you can get the information from, and it's in your newsletter from this past week. So encouraging everybody to click on that link and to explore what CSL has to already offer and has been offering for a while around racial equality. Yes.
Okay. Also, our own spiritual community based on vision has formed a new ministry called the Social Justice Initiative Ministry. And Jen Lyons and Virgie Cooper are the co-leaders. Candace is the leader champion for it. And so if anybody is interested in also being a part of getting the message out, whatever the educational process is for us in particular, we who are call ourselves white. or society calls us white. There are things we can do. Plus, the Centers for Spiritual Living is offering classes called Me and White Supremacy for those of us who call ourselves white, or we are called white. And I'm going to be doing one for ministers. They have also one for members. I think they might even have one for practitioners. So if you want information on that, that is a way for us to change in consciousness, to root out anything within us that may be holding us back from truly being allies to our Black and brown brothers and sisters. So our hearts are totally in the right place in this community. I totally get it. And so there is more that we can do. And so I just want to invite all of you, if you have any questions, talk to me, talk to Jen, talk to Virgie or Candace, and we'll be happy to help you. Okay?
So to get the information they need about how to connect to any of these, they can even just reply to the newsletter, right? So you can, anytime you have questions, you can just reply to the newsletter. It goes right to Reverend Kathleen.
Lovely.
Very good.
Thank
Okay,
you.
now we're passing this back over to Tom.
Thank you very, very much. You guys make sure you wear some sunscreen out there. For spiritual guidance and prayer, visit our licensed professional practitioner page on our website, our newsletter. For practitioner phone numbers, Reverend Linda Patton for congregate care is on the same page. We deeply appreciate your donations to CSL Delaware. We also have a benevolent fund for those in need to which you may make donations. Please mark them accordingly, and the Board of Trustees will take recommendations for how the funds are used. To date, the Benevolent Fund donations have been given to the Food Bank of Delaware. I'd like to start a new saying here: when in doubt, wear a mask. And please make safe choices filled with love, kindness, and compassion for all. And I'd like to bring back our wonderful Deb Chamberlain for our last song here. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Tom. We're going to go out today big and start the new week being big for God. I'm going to be big. I'm going to be big for God. I'm going to speak out. I'm going to speak out for love. I'm going to shine bright until the whole world sees the light. I'm going to shine bright. I'm going to speak out. I'm going to be big for God. I'm going to live loud, a life with no regrets. I'm going to go now, 'cause now is all we get. I'm going to break free to live in perfect harmony. I'm going to break free. I'm going to go now. I'm going to live loud for God. I'm going to say yes to my good right now. I'm going to let go of all my fear and doubt. I'm going to go forward and bring a change about. I'm going to go forward. I'm going to let go. I'm going to say yes to God. I'm going to break free. I'm going to go now. I'm going to live loud for God. I'm going to shine bright. I'm going to speak out. I'm going to be big for God. Thank you all. Have a beautiful week. Thank you. I'm going to bring back Candace to do our closing prayer.
Beautiful. Thank you, Deb. Thank you for that powerful song. A great way to close this out. I just want to invite anyone who would like to have prayer after service to please click on the chat room and just put your name prayer or prayer next to your name. And Michelle will locate you into a prayer room. And Mary we'll pray with you, or I will pray with you if we have more than one person at a time. So just, I don't know about you, but I feel really energized. So grateful to Reverend Bill and everybody who has been here today and participated. I feel so inspired by everybody, by this message, and by what is being called forth across this planet in our hearts right now. And I know we are all saying yes. So let's come together at this moment with our intention as we end with our prayer that Reverend Kathleen guides us in so beautifully, graciously, and intelligently each service. So breathing in deeply as we close our eyes and open our hearts, and repeat after me. Perfect God within me, perfect life within me, which is God. Come forth into expression through me as that which I am, and lead me ever into the path of perfection, and cause me to see only the good, knowing there is no problem but only solutions, and we are part of that solution. And together we say, and so it is. Yes. And so it is. Hang in here. Michelle will put us into breakout rooms for socialization. Thank you for being here. Such a beautiful time together. And so it is.
Thank you, Candace.